Can you all hear me clearly? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I'm using a new mic today. I hope the sound quality is more crisp than before. Do you feel that difference, Rohindu? You're using a headset, no?
No, sir.
Same quality? Oh, any improvement in the
Speakers. So
sorry?
I'm using speakers. So
All right. Okay. If you're using a headset, you might notice a little difference. Anyway, so the reason, Kutala, for shifting the class a little early today is only today, right? Normally our schedule is from 8 to 10. Actually, it's been a year since my father passed away. So we have our alms giving in the name of my father today evening. So that's the reason I had to shift the class a little, like, to 3:30 today. And also, this is the last class for this year that we are having. And also, yeah, we have 2 more lessons to complete after this. Good news and bad news, right? I mean, good news is we have only 2 lessons to complete after this lesson. Actually, we are planning to finish Industrial Revolution today. And then that's the good news. We have only 2 lessons. The bad news, I don't know if it is a bad news really. Maybe it's also a good news, right? We are going to say bye to our theory class by end of January, hopefully. Yeah. But if the requests pour in, we'll consider continuing the theory class. But I don't see any point continuing the theory class because grade 10 class will also start the new class will also start in January. Then the grade 11 class, basically the grade 11 theory class will continue. I mean, those who are in grade 10 this year, right? They will go to grade 11 next year. So that class will continue. So there's no point continuing the grade 11 theory class for those who are sitting for the exam in May. But our revision class will continue. We will continue to support you guys. Actually, I have also planned a new video series in my YouTube channel, especially targeting the exam in May, right? So that will be like the real revision video series, right? And also those lessons will be like quickly revised, like 10-minute, 15-minute revision series. We will do that next year, right? Targeting the exam specifically. Right now, even in the revision class, we are more focused on theory, because without knowing theory, there's no point doing revision, right? If you don't know theory, there's nothing called revision. Revision is when you know theory to revise, to basically quickly recall what you remember and to check whether you remember what you have to remember, right? That is what revision means. Revision doesn't mean that you just quickly go through something and just try to remember here and there, like a kaputo kana wage again in Sinhala, like tanin tane, kaputo kala wage, a little bit from that, little bit from Portuguese, little bit from Dutch, little bit about the English, little bit about the Industrial Revolution. No, it shouldn't be like that, right? Everything should be in order, like a library, in your memory, so that whenever you need it, it will come out. Otherwise, especially when you answer questions like essay questions, you will get stuck, right? Okay, so let's get started. I believe almost everyone has joined. So those who are joining later can also watch the recording, or maybe those who couldn't join us today this time, maybe they have other classes, they can watch the recording later, hopefully. Yeah, right. Okay, so this is the last class. So next week will be a vacation week, basically. Any plans for vacation, guys? Yeah, anybody going on vacation? I mean, you can't afford to go on a vacation yet, right? Because exam is very close. So I never took a vacation, to be honest with you guys. Yeah. After O levels, I took one. I took a long one, actually, a very long one. I used to go to my relatives' house, spend like 7-10 days there. I used to come back. Everything happened after O levels, when I was on leave, like at home, relaxing. All right. Okay. Let me share the tute with you guys. Right. So I told you, like, okay, we are going according to an order. Okay. We started world history last week. Actually, all the world history lessons are being discussed in order right now. So we are in the second step of discussing world history, right? So last week there is the lesson that we discussed was, what was that? Renaissance. Okay. Give me the meaning of Renaissance in a nutshell, like in one sentence. Can somebody explain this word Renaissance and what happened during Renaissance in one sentence? Yes, Vetumputa, go ahead.
The wide transformation that took place in the fields of art and science from the period of 14th to 16th centuries in Europe.
Exactly. Yes. Art, science, you can also add literature to it if you like. Yes. So the huge transformation that took place in the fields of art, science, and also, if you like, literature in Europe between 14th and 16th century is called Renaissance. Renaissance is a French word. Renaissance, this is not an English word, it's a French word, which is rebirth, okay, which has the meaning of rebirth. So we learned about Renaissance, what factors led for the Renaissance to happen in Europe, like the capture of Constantinople, intellectual revival, creation of a wealthy class, those things, everything contributed towards a complete rebirth in the field of arts and science in Europe, right? This is what happened during Renaissance. Now, because of Renaissance happened in Europe, many other changes also happened in Europe, especially in the field of industries, production, industry, technology. That is called Industrial Revolution. Now, this happened during the latter part, or you can also say during the 18th century, okay? Between 1700 to 1800, we can call it as 18th century, basically 1799 to be exact, okay? 1799. This is the 18th century. 19th century means 1800 to 1899. 19th century. We are now in 21st century, is it? Yeah. 2000 to 2099 is called the 21st century. We are in 2021 right now. Okay. So in the 18th century, big or huge changes took place in the fields of industries, in the field of production, manufacturing, import, export, those things, right? This is called Industrial Revolution. Industrial Revolution. This also happened because of Renaissance. Renaissance happened after the 14th century, right? Gradually, Renaissance paved the way for an industrial revolution to happen in Europe. Why? Because science and technology also got developed as a result of Renaissance. So that science and technology was used to improve people's lives, increase production, increase efficiency in different fields. And as a result, the whole Europe became so developed. That's the difference between us and Europeans, right? Today, many countries in Europe, not only in Europe, other countries who basically followed the footsteps of the Europeans like Japan, Korea, China, they are also far more developed than us. Unfortunately, we couldn't keep up with them. But our economy was different as well. Our economy was more agricultural based, not industrial based. But let's talk about that in detail, right? I mean, what really happened to us and why are we here right now? Let's discuss about that in detail when we do this lesson as we go along, right? First things first, let's see how this all started, where this started in Europe and how it basically developed and what fields Industrial Revolution basically covered first, right? For this, I'm going to share you a beautiful tute that I made targeting this lesson. Can you see this, Pude? Everybody?
Yes.
Right. Now, in the earlier times, production was very low in the sense like population is low. When the population is low, the demand is also low, and the production will also be like sufficient for the population. Okay. But with the invention of new sciences and technologies, and also with the growth of population, now population is never the same every day, right? 20 years ago, Sri Lanka's population was 18 million, 19 million. Now it's more than 21 million. Okay, see what happened when I was in grade 5. I learned that Sri Lankan population, like in 1995, Like 25 years ago, it was only 18 plus million, 180 lakhs. But now more than 210 lakhs, 220 almost. Yeah, something like that. See, the population basically increase. People die, but people are like, babies are born more than the rate of people die, right? So that is how the population basically increases. If you check the world population is the same. So with the increase of population from time to time, you have to meet their demands, right? Okay, most of you might be learning a subject called business and accounting studies, basically commerce. What are the basic needs of human or mankind? What are the three basic needs? Yes?
Food, clothes, and shelter.
Food, cloth, and shelter. Yes, exactly. Food, cloth, and shelter. Now, what are wants, and what's the difference between needs and wants? There are wants as well, right?
Needs
Yeah.
are essential, while wants are not essential.
Okay. In other words, without needs, you will die. Without wants, okay, you can actually fulfill the needs the way you want. Like, the method in which basically people decide to fulfill their needs are basically called wants, right? I mean, you can have anything. You can have rice for dinner, or you can have kottu for dinner, right? That is basically a want. But need is food. So food is a basic thing, right? So food, those are basic needs of mankind, right? So with the population growth, or with the growth of population, the amount of produce that you need to meet the needs of people also increases. So then you have to keep up with the pace. Pace is a speed, right? Pace means another word for speed. So you have to keep up with the pace to meet those demands of people. Otherwise, there can be crisis, what we call crisis. Today, we are facing a crisis like that, right? I mean, the demand for LP gas, for example, is more and the supply is less. Once in a while, a ship comes and people have to wait in queues to buy gas, right? Or people have to wait in queues to buy milk powder. The demand is more, the supply is less. This is basically crisis. People blame the government. They want to change the government now. They want to kick the government out of the country. They want to do what they are ready to do, whatever it takes now. Right now, we are moving towards that place. People are so angry that they want to do whatever it takes to kick these people out, because they believe that these people are responsible for bringing this country to this situation, which is called chaos or crisis, right? Crisis. So the Europeans, okay, when they saw the population is increasing, they had their renaissance, they had their golden days. So with the technology and everything, they started putting more effort into developing industries, so that they can easily meet the demands of the growing population. This is how several fields like textile, coal, and also iron and steel, those industries got developed during Industrial Revolution. Those are the three main industries. Before that, let me go through quickly the reasons for Industrial Revolution in Britain. Industrial Revolution mainly started in Britain, in England, basically. Okay, centered around London, England, Britain. Britain includes several countries like Wales, Scotland, England, and Ireland. Okay, today Ireland is a separate country, not part of Britain, but it's an independent country. So Ireland, Wales, Scotland, England, all those countries together formed something called the Great Britain, basically like the empire, right? Okay. So Industrial Revolution started in Great Britain because of many reasons, right? There are reasons for that. For example, now after Renaissance, we learned during Renaissance that a wealthy class was created because of the growing trade between Asia, especially Asia and Europe. Not only Asia and Europe, but also within Europe. There was a lot of trade that's happening. As a result, a wealthy class was born, right? Now, what the wealthy class did, they didn't sit idle. Okay, when they have a lot of money, you basically find ways to double that money. That is what a businessman will do, right? You talk to any businessman, you talk to him like, okay, you want to start a business, then he will immediately consider. He will see, okay, what type of profit can I expect? How much money you would need? Okay, he will ask you a lot of questions. Okay, you just go. I'm telling you, just go and meet a businessman, maybe your father's friend or somebody. Tell him that you have an idea, right? You have a unique idea. He will immediately, he will say, oh, Aryan, but he won't tell like that, right? He will listen to you, right? This is how investors think. This is how businessmen think, right? What is the idea? Okay, tell me. Okay, how much profit you can earn? How feasible is that? Okay, what type of resources you need? He will be exploring opportunities all the time, because when he already has money, when he already has extra money, he will always be looking into opportunities to invest that money and basically grow that money. This is how business people think. Okay, how the poor people think? Yeah, everything will fall from the sky. Yeah, this is how the poor people think, right? That mentality is different. The rich people, they think differently. That is why they are rich. Okay, one main thing is mentality, right? How they think. Okay, now I told you emergence of a wealthy class, emergence of a rich class, because of a lot of trade that's happening, because of the growth of trade. Now this rich class, I told you, during Renaissance, they also had some fun, right? They wanted to invest money having fun. No smartphones, no theaters, no movies, no what we call Marvel, comics and everything those days, right? So now they wanted to invest money during, this is what happened during Renaissance. They wanted to invest money building theaters, helping those people, artists, and basically grow those industries so that they can also enjoy. That is one side of it. Okay, the other side of it is they wanted to invest more and more in businesses. That is the industrial side of it, right? The industrial revolution that we are talking about right now is that. So the wealthy people wanted to invest their money in different businesses and grow those industries and basically make more money. People who have money will be looking to double that money, right? Okay, when you have money, you will be looking to distribute it, right? I mean, okay, give it to everybody who are poor, right? I mean, that's a good thing actually. But on the other hand, money, yes, today you will have money, tomorrow maybe you might not have money. So because of that, it's better to invest somewhere and basically grow that money, right? Okay, that is how the wealthy class thought. Then the next one is, like I said, rapid growth in population. Because of the rapid growth in population, there was a need for a revolution. There was a need to produce things faster. There was a need to invent new things that can produce things faster, like machines, right? And then as a result of the Renaissance, expansion of knowledge, especially in science and technology, improved. So using that knowledge, they were able to basically basically make a revolution in the industrial sector. Now, these are the three main reasons for the industrial revolution to happen in Britain. Now, Britain, but other countries also got developed, right? I mean, you know that when we discuss Renaissance, the countries like Portugal, France, Holland, Spain, all those countries also, competed toe to toe. But England, surpassing all the countries, managed to rise during the Industrial Revolution. Now, what is the country became very developed or rose out of the rest during Renaissance? Tell me. Renaissance started where?
Italy.
Where did Renaissance start? Yes, Budhe?
Italy.
Italy, okay, Italy. Renaissance started in Italy, but Italy was mostly focused on science plus art. Yeah, art was the main thing. Then later science, right? Galileo, Leonardo da Vinci was also a scientist himself, or those things. But then another country basically surpassed all these countries and emerged as a leading power. Or when it comes to trade, which country is that?
Turkey.
Turkey? No, Renaissance. We are talking about Renaissance. Basically, one country managed to break the barrier and become a very powerful trade hub or trade partner between Europe and Asia. Which country? Portugal, exactly. Later on, other countries also got involved, like the Dutch and the English. They surpassed Portugal, but Portugal managed to basically maintain a hegemony, like a very big place in Asia for like 100 years. Okay. 1498, Vasco da Gama came to India. 1595, the Dutch came to India. 1600, the English came to India. Right? See, like for 100 days, Portugal was at the top. when it comes to trade. So like that, during Industrial Revolution, other countries also got developed, but England surpassed all other countries and was basically at the top in terms of inventions of new machines and other industries getting developed, right? This is why we call Industrial Revolution's birthplace is England or Great Britain. Okay, right. Now, these are the reasons why England became a pioneer in the Industrial Revolution. Right? England or Great Britain, we are talking about Britain here as a whole. Britain means, I will show you in the map. So Britain is basically the combination of England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. Okay, today Ireland is a separate country. Today England, Scotland, Wales together form, and Northern Ireland together form United Kingdom. Right? UK again, yeah, UK. Right, 1 second. Can you see the map today? Now, I'm sharing now.
Yes.
Okay, so you have United Kingdom today, as you can see. United Kingdom and Ireland are two different countries now. UK is basically England, this part, England. This part is Wales, this part. Here, can you see Wales? And the northern part is called Scotland. These are called United Kingdom now, and plus Northern Ireland, this one here, Northern Ireland, as you can see, right? Northern Ireland. Mainly these are called United Kingdom today, but all the areas were together before, especially during Renaissance, plus after Renaissance, the Industrial Revolution, and this is called the Great Britain. This is not very big. Okay, you have to understand that. See, let's compare and see with Sri Lanka. This island is not big, right? That is one of the main reasons that Industrial Revolution spread very fast in England, because the island is small. So technology, let's say, found in one place can be easily taken to another place. Produce or products that are produced in one place can be easily distributed to another place, right? This is one of the main reasons that England surpassed other countries. Like France is a big country. Spain is a big country, right? Surpassing other countries, England came at the top during Industrial Revolutions because of that. Let's compare this and see. Compare the size of Great Britain to Sri Lanka. It's not so bigger than Sri Lanka, like 4, 5, 6 times of Sri Lanka, right? Comparing other countries, compared to France and everything, it's small. Right? England, this part is small compared to France and everything. So it's a small island actually compared to other countries in the world. It's somewhat small, right? Especially considering USA and all, it's very, very small. Okay. Let me just share this. Okay. And then England was able to, basically Britain was able to charge high prices for their production. That is also one reason that, you know, England became a pioneer, or England became a leading country in Industrial Revolution, industrial production or revolution, end of the day, right? Okay. That is because English products had this standard. Plus also the market that the English people or the English, the British basically nation had was very big than the other nations, especially because of colonies that they were controlling all over the world. They could charge high prices for their productions. Okay. And then the City of London was like a hub, especially you can buy raw materials there. And you know, you also have a lot of businessmen there. When you need capital to run a business, basically capital means the money that you need to start a business. You know, when you need capital, the banking services, those things were there in London. And also the products, which were finished products, were also there in London. You can buy them. So London was like a hub, so that it helped Great Britain surpass all the other countries when it comes to industrial production. Subsequently, Industrial Revolution. Okay, so these are the three main industries the Industrial Revolution was based at first. Textile industry, again, I'm telling you, clothing is one of the main or basic needs of human being. textile industry, iron and steel industry, which is not a main need or something like that, but to make machines, you need iron and steel. So that is why that industry got or saw big improvements. And also coal industry, petrochemicals, or like we have petrol, diesel, those things were not found at that time. So coal became the main fuel. Coal became the main fuel to power up machines, especially steam powered machines, and everything were basically powered using coal. Coal was a fuel. So because of that, coal industry also became a very, very advanced industry. Did you understand now? The three main industries the Industrial Revolution was primarily based upon: textile, iron and steel, and coal industry. Yeah, you have to remember these three. And Industrial Revolution, once the revolution started, once those industries got developed, they also spread to other industries. Okay, not getting restricted to these three industries. Other fields like agriculture, because you need food, right? Food is a basic need. So you need to produce food faster. Because of that, agricultural industry also got developed. Transport industry. Now you need transport for everything. Basically, you produce textile, you produce iron and steel, you produce coal, you need transport to take it from one place to another. You produce food, you need transport. So as a result, transport industry or transport sector also got developed. And communication, when you have these things, like when you have all the industries developing, you need proper communication between people, between businesses and people, between businesses and businesses. You need communication, placing orders, and delivering orders, those things, you need a lot of communication that should happen. What will happen if there's no communication? Let's say you need 100,000 dresses and you don't have a way to communicate. You don't have a way to place the order. And people are waiting here, right, until your produce come, and they think and send when they want. Okay, there's no communication. As a result, fast and speedy communication. There was a big need for fast and speedy communication because of the other industries getting developed, because of sending, receiving goods, importing, exporting goods, and everything. As a result, communication industry also got developed. Right. Tell me now, what are the three main industries that the Industrial Revolution was based on? Yes?
Textile industry,
Textile,
iron and steel,
iron
coal.
and steel, and coal. Someone else tell me, what are the other industries the Industrial Revolution spread to? Someone else tell me. Sanuga?
Communication.
Sorry?
Communication.
Communication industry, right? Okay, communication, yes. One more, Puta, tell me. Another guy, please. Communication industry got developed. Yes. What are the other industries that got developed as a result of Industrial Revolution? Transport, very good. Transport. Yes. And one more. Yeah. Agriculture, exactly. Agriculture. Okay. These are the three main industries the Industrial Revolution was based upon: textile, iron and steel, and coal. Once these got developed, other industries also automatically got developed. For example, when the iron and steel industry got developed, the technology in building machines, powerful machines, plus machines that are durable, that can last for a very long time, durable, that's called durable, were also built. So agricultural industry also got developed because of those machines were invented in the agricultural field. Communication also got developed because, textile, iron and steel, coal, agriculture, they all got developed. You need communication, right? To place orders, receive orders, you need communication. Without communication, nothing is possible, right? Orders will not go on time, in place. You don't know the demand. How do you know the demand if there's no communication, right? So those things. And also transport, especially got developed with the coal industry getting developed. Coal industry paved the way for new engines to be manufactured. We'll talk about those things, right? I mean, in detail. So as a result, transport industry also got developed. Okay, that is a little touch and go on what industries the industrial revolution was based on. Three main industries: textile, iron and steel, and coal. Then later it spread to agriculture, transport, and communication. Now, where did the industrial revolution start?
Britain.
Great Britain. Yeah, Britain. Yes, Britain. And it spread to other countries. Okay. Later it spread to Germany, France, other countries like, Belgium, Austria, Italy, then USA, Americas, then Asian countries like Japan, China, those countries. Yeah. Okay. So this started in Great Britain. Okay. Now let's talk a little more about the textile industry. Before that, I would like to show you a video of weaving clothes, right? How it used to be before and what happened during the Industrial Revolution and how basically it became a very fast operation, right? Okay. Let's watch the video now. Can you see the screen, guys? Can you
Yes,
see my
yes.
YouTube share? Yeah, I'm playing now. Yeah. Okay, wait 1 second. Give me a second. Share sound. Yeah.
And this is a frame loom. It's very basic. This is the warp running up and down, and the weft crosses it. So, to weave, you pass the weft up and over each of the warps. It does the job, but it is, as you can see, a very time-consuming, a very laborious. And if you're a big strapping Yorkshireman trying to keep your family, it's no good. So, when this came along, weavers could actually make a living out of their craft. This is the hand loom and represents a significant improvement. Same principle. Here's the warp and the weft goes through. But this loom got a piece of kit invented in 1733 by one John Kay that doubled the output of these looms, and it was this. The flying shuttle. Only not very flying. So instead of throwing the shuttle through the warp, you can now just whack it across. And the weavers would keep it in the family. The children carding, the women winding bobbins and spinning, and the men up here weaving. You can see how big the windows were. They'd want as much natural light as possible for these fine yarns. Another thing they used to do.
Okay, I believe you got an idea about what happened during Industrial Revolution. Basically, the hand looming. Basically, that is how, the first part of the video, that is how they used to produce cloth, right? Basically, weaving one by one like that, right? With the invention of flying shuttle, like the latter part of the video, the machine that they are showing you, there's a shuttle that is basically flying. Basically, you don't need the hand to take the thread like this, okay? Like to weave, like to take the thread from one place to another. Basically, threads are used to produce clothes. All the clothes that we are wearing right now are produced using threads. So, like the flying shuttle, after it is invented by John Kay, made it very easy for people to weave clothes. I believe that's understood. Yeah. Is it understood? How easy it became, basically how less time consuming and how efficient it became to produce clothes, right? But there was a problem here. Now, John Kay is a scientist, an inventor. Actually, John Kay, this is John Kay, okay? K-A-Y-K. But your book says K dot. It's okay, no problem. But learn the correct one. John Kay in 1733 invented the flying shuttle. Basically, shuttle is taking the thread. You don't need the hand to take the thread. Shuttle, you can't see it because it's flying. It's going like that, like that, inside that machine, okay? You will have more videos. I mean, you just go to YouTube and see more videos. The shuttle is like flying. You can't even see it, like it's so fast, right? Basically, that helped people weave clothes very easy, right? So John Kay introduced this big invention. I mean, basically invented this thing called the flying shuttle, which basically made people easily weave clothes, thereby increasing the production of clothes, like in the textile industry, okay? Now then, there was a big problem here. That is, you need threads to weave clothes, and making threads was a challenge. Now that you can weave clothes very faster, you also needed to make threads very faster, okay? Let's say, for example, you are starting a shoe factory, okay? But let's say the rubber producers who are making the soles in this country are telling that we can only give you 2 tons of rubber, but you need 10 tons of rubber per month, for example. But they are giving you only 2 tons of rubber. Now, will your business thrive? Will your business develop? No. Right? And another problem in this country, you know, I want to tell you that before I move on to the next one. When somebody starts a business, let's say somebody starts a restaurant, somebody starts streaming video games, okay? Somebody starts a YouTube channel, everybody will do that. Everybody will think like, okay, he became successful by doing that, so I also have to become successful. I can also be successful by doing the same thing. So that's the thing, you know, when somebody opens a restaurant, 10 people will open 10 restaurants and nobody will get proper business, right? But in Europe, it's not that, right? In Europe, it didn't work that way. When somebody invented something, another person thought like, how can I improve this? Okay, or how can I create a service that support this and basically develop the whole industry. Okay. Now, flying shuttle was invented by John Kay to weave clothes faster. Now, to weave clothes, you need threads. Producing threads was a challenge because 6 people produced a certain amount of threads per day and 1 man could weave everything in 1 day, right? So you need 6 people to make threads, 1 man to weave that. So there's a big difference between those. So another man called James Hargreaves, another engineer, came forward. He introduced a machine called Jenny to weave threads, to make threads, which is called spinning threads faster. That is called Jenny. That is what you can see in this photo. Okay. This is not the flying shuttle. This is not the weaving machine. This is a thread producing machine. Okay. This was introduced in 1764, which is called Jenny. Basically, it produces threads, right? Yarns, as another word. Yeah. Basically used to weave clothes. See what happened? Inventions, same field, but different requirements. Okay. Were fulfilled, right? Nobody went on and tried to develop or tried to basically imitate John Kay's machine. It was okay. It was going well. It was doing a good job. But how can you support that industry? By inventing some other things. So that is the difference between European Renaissance type thinking and our thinking. Yeah, you can see a big difference, right, between those. Okay. Now then Richard Arkwright, another inventor, came forward and introduced a water turbine. Basically, now this Jenny, which is the spinning Jenny, which is called the spinning Jenny, was spun by hand. Okay, the threads are basically spun by hand, right? How this machine works, you can go to YouTube and see. It's basically, you know, like the bobbins of threads and everything are produced like that. So it was spun by hand. Now Richard Arkwright found a way to basically power it using water pressure, right? That's called the water turbine. And another person, another inventor called Samuel Crompton combined the two concepts like a hybrid, water turbine plus Jenny, and made something called the mule, which basically produced strong threads and finer threads at a fast pace. So those are some of the inventions that took place in the textile industry during Industrial Revolution. And Edward Cartwright is another inventor who basically found a way to run that mule using steam power. Steam became the main fuel after that. Like no petrol, no diesel, no electricity also back then, right? So everything had to be done either by hand or somebody introduced, Richard Arkwright introduced the water turbine. Then Edward Cartwright introduced to run that machine using steam power. Yeah, those things. See how basically the textile industry got developed. More clothes could be produced, more textile or more dresses could be produced, and all the demands of the growing population could be met. Is that understood? Yeah, about textile industry. Tell me two names. Tell me two inventions. No need names. Tell me two inventions.
Flying shuttle.
Flying shuttle, yes. John Kay, if you remember, no problem. Yeah. One more.
Jenny.
Jenny, yeah. Jenny. Okay, James Hargreaves. Yeah, invented the Jenny. Jenny is basically to produce threads faster. Flying shuttle is basically to easily weave clothes. Okay. Now, those are two different inventions, right? Okay. Jenny didn't weave clothes, but it produced threads very fast. Very good question, Puta. I will answer your question later. Okay. Developing an existing invention is also called an invention, kind of, but it's not a groundbreaking invention. Yeah, we'll talk about that. I like to talk about that later. Okay. When we discuss communication industry, we'll talk more about it. I was planning to discuss that anyway. Okay. Then we'll come to iron and steel industry. Now, iron is not like iron on earth, right? It is mixed. Iron is a mineral, iron is an element, the metal that is mixed with other things and which can be found on earth. That is called iron ore. Now we learned when we did grade 10, you remember in Samanala Alakola we spoke about limonite, hematite, yeah, those things. Those are basically called iron ore. That means iron is mixed with other minerals or stones or soil or stone or minerals, and it's there in the earth in an iron mine, which is called iron mine. Basically, that's called iron ore. So you have to take the ore and smelt it. Smelting it means extracting iron from that stone, heating up the stone so that iron gets separated from the minerals or the stone, so that you can basically use it, like you can pour the liquid iron to a mold or something, harden it and make it, cool it down, and then basically produce the metal. Yeah, that is called smelting. Okay, so iron is in the form of ore. Limonite, hematite, those are all forms of iron ore, right? Okay, now in Britain, iron ore could be easily found. Okay, especially, we say Nottingham in England is very popular for steel, basically, for iron ores and everything. Not only that, Yorkshire, different other areas also there. We're not going too deep about that. The areas, no. England, Britain as a whole, you have a lot of iron ore there, right? So then iron was used from the ancient times. Okay. During medieval times also iron was used. But we are talking about industrial revolution, producing iron in a mass scale. Okay. For example, iron was used in making bridges. Iron was used to make buildings, structures, roofs of factories and those things during the industrial revolution. So you have to produce more iron. Iron is used to make machines. Iron and steel are very, very much needed, a very heavily needed material in construction, in industries, in factories, those things. So you need to produce more and more iron. Earlier, iron was produced using firewood. The, the Samanala, we discussing about grade 10. Unit number 5, ancient science and technology in Sri Lanka. So they brought, like Yakada Marang, and basically lit up the furnace and smelted iron. This was, UK, people in England also use the same method to produce iron, but this was not enough during industrial revolution. All the industries are quickly growing, and no way this is going to be enough to produce more and more iron. So people like Abraham Darby is the one who found that iron can be smelted using coal. Coal has a lot of energy. Coal has a lot of heat capacity. So you can heat up coal. You can use that heat to extract iron from ore, right? This was found by Abraham Darby. Okay. So using firewood wasn't helping anymore. So that was a groundbreaking invention by Abraham Darby. Basically, he found how to use coal to extract or smelt iron. Yes. Okay. Right. Then Henry Cort found the roller. That made tempered iron production possible. Now, in a roller, what you do is you basically roll the iron, you roll the metal with a big pressure applied on it. So when you apply a lot of pressure on a material, that becomes hard. Okay. So roller does that, right? A roller does that. Roller applies a lot of pressure, basically flattens it out, evenly distributes the the material, the ingredients in that material, and basically makes the metal very tough and durable. Okay. So tempered iron is called that. Tempered means like tempered glass that we know, tempered glass is also, used in mobile phone screens now, right? Everything is basically, the next level or the durable version of a certain material. So Henry Cort is the one who introduced the roller. Abraham Darby is the one who basically found out that coal can be used as a fuel to smelt iron. Okay. Now Henry Bessemer, he found a way to remove dirt from iron and produce steel. Now, how steel is produced is by removing impurities of iron. Iron is not in its purest form. It might have got mixed with other elements. Okay. Right. Different elements are basically mixed with iron. And also you can add carbon to iron to make it very strong. You might be learning this in your science lesson. Basically, how you produce steel is by removing impurities or adding carbon to iron. Okay, you can make it very strong. Normally, whatever we have today is basically not iron, it's steel, right? Even your mobile phone, maybe it's aluminium, but if you see, any equipment in your house, which is basically you think iron, basically that's not iron, that is steel. Steel is a form of iron actually. Steel is produced by adding removing impurities, removing the dirt, and adding certain elements like carbon to iron, right? That makes it strong. Okay. So Henry Bessemer is the one who found to basically found a way to basically produce improved steel, right? Harder and durable steel. And Wilhelm Siemens is the one who introduced the electric oven, which basically made it super easy to produce iron. Right. Okay. So these are some of the inventions done in the fields of iron and steel industry. Yeah. Is that understood? Tell me two inventions. Tell me two inventions. Abraham Darby introduced a method to smelt iron ore using coal. Yes. And what did Henry Bessemer do? Henry Bessemer. I will highlight this. I will finish the tute and upload you guys, right? Yeah. He's the one who found to remove dirt from iron and produce steel. Yeah. Roller was introduced by Henry Cort. You can go through this. Yeah. Have a slight idea. That's enough. We don't expect you to remember the names, everything in order. But especially when it comes to groundbreaking inventions like the telephone, the locomotive engine, those things, we expect you to remember, right? These things, not really, not much. But you have to remember the three main fields that the Industrial revolution was based on textile, like John Kay. Those inventions are groundbreaking inventions, like the flying shuttle, those things. Yeah. But when it comes to iron and steel, not super important. But it's okay to remember Abraham Darby, because that was a big change, right? That was a groundbreaking invention, using coal to smelt iron. Yeah. Remember the name, Abraham Darby. Okay. We'll come to coal industry. Now, many coal mines are found in UK or Britain, right? South Wales, the Wales part of the country, Yorkshire, it's also towards the south. Those are basically, those basically had coal mines. Now, when they discovered coal, there are a lot of coal mines. Even today, you have a lot of coal mines in UK or in Britain. But China is one of the leading producers of coal right now in the world. Okay, right. So mining coal was a very difficult process. Okay, now let's say now there's a mountain like this. Now this is a mountain. Now coal is here, right? Now you need to basically dig a mine to reach this place, basically like a tunnel. Yeah, sorry, not from here. Like if you are here, right? Okay, you are here now. So you got to, you can see my whiteboard, right, guys? Now you have to reach the mine. You have to reach the coal deposits through a mine. Now digging a mine, no problem, but going inside and staying there is a big problem, because there is water. When you dig the ground, you will see water. No, actually there's water also. So you need to take the water out. Not only that, there are different minerals, chemicals in the middle of the earth, which will emit poisonous gases. People will go inside and die. People can die by getting exposed to those poisonous gases. And also you have to take a light inside. So those are all practical challenges faced by people who engage in the coal industry. We have coal, we know where it is. The problem is taking it out safely, right? Without losing people's lives and everything. Okay, so by inventing certain things, people in Britain were able to develop the coal industry, right? Okay, this is one of the main things. Thomas Newcomen introduced a steam engine. Now that engine was connected to a pump. The pump was run by the steam engine. Basically what happens is engine is connected to a pump, right? For example, now engines are used in almost every field today. Let's say the generator, if there's no electricity, you run the generator. Basically generator is one and engine is the another one. Engine is the one which drives the generator. So an engine is connected to the generator. Generator produces electricity. Okay, that is how we even get electricity right now. I mean, especially from Kalanithi and everything. Yeah, generators produce electricity, but engines run the generator, for example. Okay, right. Then engines can also be used to run pumps, like pumping air, pumping water, pumping different liquids, anything. So Thomas Newcomen invented the steam engine, and that engine was connected to a pump, and that pump was used to pump water out of coal mines. So there was no water inside coal mines anymore. People can easily go and work inside and dig the coal out of those mines, right? Okay. James Watt, following Thomas Newcomen's footsteps, further improved the engine that he made, which is basically more efficient. Okay, which is basically using little steam, you can get more work. That's called efficiency, right? Okay, improving the output, work output. That's called efficiency. Humphrey Davy produced something called a safety lamp, right? Have you seen this lamp called Petromax? Have you seen this? Petromax. Yeah, you pump, you put kerosene in it, you pump air in it, and that is how it's lit up. Basically, it doesn't need any air from the atmosphere to work. Okay. Now, in a coal mine, Pute, you don't have oxygen. Okay. When you go like, under the or below the surface level, the oxygen, the amount of oxygen, everything is less. And also you can't take a lamp, or you can't basically take, you can light a fire or something like that, then the fire will consume the oxygen and you will die. People who are working in the coal mine will die. So safety lamp was introduced by Humphrey Davy, so that you can pump the water in the lamp, pump the air in the lamp, and that air will be used by a lamp. So the lamp will not consume the atmospheric oxygen. Yeah. So the lamp will be having its own power or own source of air, and people inside will have enough oxygen, right? So this is what Humphrey Davy did. Okay. Now, do you know how a steam engine works? Yeah. Anybody? Have you seen a steam engine? Anyone? Have you seen a petrol engine? Yeah. Do you know how a petrol engine works? Come on, guys. I want to hear something. Can hear me, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Now, do you see fire in a petrol engine? Do you see fire in a petrol engine? What do you see? No idea.
No.
Do you see fire in a petrol engine? Now, when you start your car, when you start your bike, do you see fire coming out of the engine? If fire is coming out of the engine, there's a problem somewhere in the engine, right? I mean, basically the engine, yeah, is on fire, right? Okay. Okay. That is not how a petrol or a diesel engine works. Okay. The fire is inside the engine. Actually, the combustion, we call it combustion. Basically, what is burning is inside the engine. So we call it internal combustion engines. Okay. Because you can't see the fire. If you see a fire in a petrol engine, that means there's a problem in that engine. Okay, the engine is on fire, right? But a rocket engine, do you see fire in a rocket engine coming out of the engine? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That is called external combustion, because combustion or the burning process takes place outside of the engine. Okay. If it is taking place inside of the engine, that's called internal combustion engine. If the burning takes place out of the engine, that's called external combustion. Rocket engine is a good example for an external combustion engine. Steam engine is also an external combustion engine. What happens is, in a steam engine, there's a tank like this filled with water. This is lit up using firewood or coal. The fire is lit up here. Now the fire is outside. That is why we call it an external combustion engine. Fire is outside. What happens is, the water inside the tank is heated up, then vapor, it evaporates, water vapor or steam is produced. That steam is taken through a tube, high pressure steam. You know, we let the steam build up by closing this like a pressure cooker. Yeah, like a pressure cooker. We let the steam build up, then we have a small tube or pipe or something to take that steam out. Using that steam, high pressure steam, we can run a piston, we can move something, we can move a piston or something. That piston can be connected through a rod or something like that, so that you know, you can rotate something like a pump, or you can rotate a wheel or something like that, basically get work done. Okay, that is how, in simple terms, a steam engine works. Any engine works like that, right? Basically, you know, petrol engine also works like that, but the combustion takes place inside the engine. That's the difference. Okay, so that is how a steam engine works. Now that steam engine was connected to a pump, and who built the steam engine for the first time? Who's that? Thomas
Newcomen.
Yeah. So he basically connected it to a pump and took the water out. You know, helped pump the water out of the basically the coal mines. Okay, this is what happened, right? Okay, now now the miners were basically men. Okay, men went inside taking big risks. Men went inside and mined coal. Now to take the coal out of the mine was the duty of women and children, actually. Okay, so there was something called the cables. You might have heard this word dakku in Sinhala. Have you heard this word dakku? Yeah. Something like this with wheels fitted. Have you seen this? Which is on a railway track. Have you seen something like this? No engine, nothing, just carrying goods in it. Now you don't see it. When I was a kid, I used to see a lot of these things. You know, now you don't see dakku. No, not really. So what you do is you load this with goods and take it out. Okay, this is how they took out the coal produced inside mines. Now the mine is here. Coal is loaded into this, equipment, which are called cables. Okay, these are called cables, right? So through the cables, these are cables. Women and children pushed these cables. No engines, no trains or anything like that those days. Women and children used to push those cables and bring the coal out of mines. The men used to work inside mines and load those cables with the coals that they dug. You understand? So these cables were made of copper those days, and later on they were produced using iron, with iron technology becoming developed, right? Copper is very heavy. Copper is like, many times heavier than iron. So you can imagine, right? There's a lot of effort that needs to be put when pushing those cables out of those mines. So when iron was introduced, when iron cables were introduced, this process became a little easier, right? So that's the development of coal technology that we have to talk about. Is it understood, Pude? Everybody? Yeah. Coal is used to make different products, like not only powering up steam engines or extracting iron from ore, but coal is used today also for many products like tar. You put tar for roads, right? That's basically heated up coal, melted coal. Then paints for dyeing clothes. Paints for dyeing clothes are made using coal. Not only that, medicine, perfumes, oil, fertilizers are also made using coals. Yeah. Medicine, aspirin, dispirin. Yeah. Dispirin. You guys know dispirin, aspirin. Aspirin is mainly given for heart patients also. So there's coal inside that. Yeah. Coal based product. Yeah. Aspirin. You use coal to make aspirin. Yeah. Coal is also involved in the production process. Okay. Now we'll talk a little more about Industrial Revolution. That's the expansion of Industrial Revolution to other fields. What are the three fields that Industrial Revolution spread into, apart from textile, iron and steel and coal? Yeah, transport, agriculture, and yes, transport sector, agriculture sector, and what is the other sector, Vetum? Guys are sleeping or what? Can you all hear me? Yeah. What is the other sector? Agriculture, transport, and yeah,
Communication.
Communication. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Give me a sec. Okay. Now, when the textile industry developed, when the iron and steel industries developed, when the coal industries developed, there was a big need to transport these items that are produced on time with efficiency in big loads to the place of your choice. Okay, so that businesses can thrive or develop, industries can develop, basically needs and wants of people are met, not only in your country, but all over the world. So there was a big need for transportation sector to be developed as a result. One of the main things that you need to develop the transportation sector is a system of roads, or network of roads as we call it, right? Network of roads. You need a proper network or proper roads so that goods that you produce can be transported in large quantities on time, right? So that people's needs can be met no matter what location they are in. Okay. Now, to produce these roads, roads were basically gravel roads those days. So gravel roads, basically, you can't basically expect any efficiency in gravel roads, especially during the rainy season. That gets muddy, and then basically transportation will come to a kind of a halt and very slow. So John Macadam introduced a new method of making roads, which is called the Macadam method, in 1811. That is by spreading small pieces of stones on a large foundation of stones, with big stones. So you use big stones and soil to make a large, like the foundation, and on top of that you put small stones and pound it and level them, like using rollers or pounding, like equipment. You pound it and level it so that the surface of the road is very hard and doesn't wash away due to rains and everything. Gutters are made, and basically that is the start of the modern road making technology. Now this is how a macadam this is how a road made using macadam method can be seen. This is from the side. Actually, this is the middle of the road here. This is the drain. Okay, so even any road in Sri Lanka, you see, this would mostly be made of this shape, like this. This is the middle of the road where the line is. These are basically the drains, right? Okay, where water, when there's rain, water will, they will have a slope like this. Okay, right? So that is how big roads are made, basically, so that they are made according to a slope. Okay, they're not flat, right? So water doesn't basically accumulate. Okay, water doesn't accumulate on top of them, but they just seep to the sides of the road. You understand? Yeah. So what happens is, here big stones, see, 5 centimeters, big stones are basically laid as a foundation. On top of that, a little small stones are laid. They are all pounded, leveled, and on top of all that, very small stones are laid. See, 1.9 centimeter size, very small stones are laid and pounded. Yeah. So this altogether, this layer is 25 centimeters thick. Now, if you see your road, it's very deep, right? Like 1 feet, like that, a properly made road. Okay. Yeah. Not maybe your lane or something like that. Maybe they are not made according to the standards, but a properly made road, actually, the depth of that road, basically the foundation and everything, is more than 1 feet, right? Sometimes they don't follow the standards. That is why you have, big holes in the middle of the road when it rains, or when a container goes or something like that, big holes come. They are basically roads that are not made according to standards, right? Macadam method is what we consider the modern road making technology. Basically, it was made by laying big stones first, making a strong foundation. On top of that strong foundation, small stones were laid, and basically the surface is kind of smooth when the small stones are laid and pounded on them. Yeah. What will happen? You can make basically elephants bath in those, like puddles, right? That are made in the roads right now. Okay. This is the macadam method. What do you think? What happens here? What is the science behind this? Yeah. Why did they put big stones under and small stones on top? Why not big stones on top and small stones under? Who can tell me this? Think and tell me. Small stones, yes, less friction. Yeah, big stones, more friction. Why big stones then here, Uday? Yes. You know the concept of pressure, right? Area, when the area is increasing, the pressure is decreasing. Okay. So by putting big stones, the pressure is evenly distributed to the ground. Yeah, by using big stones. If the small stones are put, pressure is more. When a vehicle goes on top of the road, the pressure is more, and there's a big chance that the road will go inside. Yeah. Para bahino again. Yes, this happens. This doesn't happen when you have big stones in the foundation, because the pressure is basically absorbed by those stones, and the pressure exerted by those stones on the ground due to the large surface area is less. Yeah, that is science basically. Friction, pressure for you guys in history lesson when it comes to the macadam method. You understand? Yeah. So when you know this, it's easy for you. When you know the concept, if somebody asks you to explain macadam method, then you know, if you see this picture, you can easily explain, right, in your own words. Okay, it's not rocket science. Basics. Okay, Budhe. Right. Now let's also talk about a few more inventions that took place in the fields of transportation, in the field of transportation sector. Yeah, invention of the locomotive engine. Now you might have heard this word automotive. Yeah, automobile. Automobile means any vehicle that uses an engine which moves on the ground. It's called automobile. Mobile is moving, right? Mobile is moving. Auto means it's connected to an engine, right? It moves automatically. Yeah, automobile. Automotive means again moving, motion, moving. Automotive means some vehicles moving on roads. Automotive. Locomotive means vehicles that are moving on tracks, trains, tracks. That's called locomotive. Okay, remember the name. Locomotive means vehicles that move on tracks. That's called locomotive. So any engine that helps vehicles move on tracks is called locomotive engine. For the first time in history, the locomotive engine or the train engine was invented by George Stephenson, who couldn't even read and write until he's 17 years old. Crazy, right? Yeah, those inventors, look at how they thought and did great inventions. Who's basically the founder of the modern, the train, basically. Yeah, George Stephenson, who introduced the locomotive engine. You have a photo of that engine, actually. Locomotive means a vehicle that moves on tracks, right? That engine was introduced for the first time by George Stephenson. And this was a big change or landmark event in the transportation sector. Now then this concept also spread to other industries, like the steamboat was produced by Robert Fulton. Henry Bell invented the steamship so that passengers can be transported using steamships in 1807. Before that, we all had sailing ships using the wind power, using sails. But the steamship was introduced by Henry Bell. Then steam-powered ships were produced. Okay, and there's a big mistake in the book, unfortunately. Here, Daimler didn't produce the vehicle or the motor car. Motor car was first produced by Karl Benz. Okay, Karl Benz in 1885, 1886. 1886, he got the patent, he got the approval for his design. This is what you see here. This is the first motor car produced by Karl Benz. Okay, but the book says Daimler. Daimler is actually a company, not a man. It's a company which later merged with the Karl Benz company, the Benz company, and basically they produce the Mercedes-Benz today. Yeah, have you seen Mercedes-Benz, the cars? Yes, this one. Yes, this logo. Yeah, so Mercedes-Benz is actually, Mercedes-Benz was born by merging two companies like Karl Benz company and Daimler, okay, in Germany. Yeah, unfortunately there's wrong information in the book. We can't afford to learn wrong things, but you know what's there in the book now. It's okay, but you know the correct thing as well. Okay, Karl Benz is the one who introduced or who founded the motor car, okay, in Germany. He's from Germany. Right, and then the airplane was introduced. Now you know steamship was introduced by Henry Bell. George Stephenson introduced the locomotive engines, basically the steam powered railway, like the train engine. And airplane was introduced by Wright brothers by 1903. So which basically made transportation possible in all three modes, right? Like land, sea, and air. So transportation saw a very big or huge improvement during and even now, after industrial revolution. Is that understood? Yeah, what are the, you can tell me, right? What are the key inventions of or in the transportation sector during industrial revolution? Yeah, George Stephenson locomotive engine, Henry Bell steamship, Karl Benz, book says Daimler motor car, right? And Wright brothers, the aeroplane. Basically, they made huge advancements in the transportation sector. Is it understood? Yeah.
Yes.
Any questions, please ask. Yeah, we'll have 2 minutes to answer questions. If you have any, please. Okay. Good question. Did the person who invented the train got another patent? Basically, different inventions have had different patents. Okay, patent is basically the approval and basically the recognition for your invention as an invention. When you have the patent, that means nobody can copy your invention. Okay, that is a guarantee that a government gives you, and also you are legally allowed to basically use it as your invention, and nobody can claim that what you invented is theirs. When Karl Benz got the patent for the motor car, only Karl Benz could produce motor cars. Yeah, no one else. But later, yes, that later that power or that authority was given or sold. Those patents were sold, or maybe different inventions, and they came to agreements, pay loyalties, fees, like for using those technologies, everything. Yeah. Okay, those things are done. But yes, if your question, if an invention really meets the requirements of being an invention, you will get a patent for that. Locomotive engine, yes, George Stephenson, he got the patent. But the train carriage, for example, he didn't invent that. The train carriage, the car of the train, yeah, that person might have got another patent. Yes, it's a unique invention. So all the unique inventions will get the patents. But let's say somebody improved something and requested a patent. No, he won't get it. Normally, that's not the way patents are given. Patents are given for unique inventions. Yeah. Okay. Right. Now we'll talk about the communication sector. Now, huge improvements were made in the communication sector, like transportation sector. In communication sector, right now we have these technologies like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS. Everything is basically based on these changes that took place during the Industrial Revolution. Thanks to those inventions, we today have unbelievable technologies like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, 5G, those things. Okay, so let's get back to those. Let's discuss more about that. Okay. Now, when the Industrial Revolution started, the British government also wanted to make postal service affordable to people. So that is why they started a postal service called the penny postal service. That is basically to make communication easy. So you can use a penny. Penny is 1/100 of a pound. Yeah, like sate wage, sate, penny. You can use 1/100 of a pound to send a letter to any place in Britain. That's called the penny postal service. Okay, that is not related to technology, but it is to facilitate or to help the communication sector. Yeah. But then Samuel Morse, who's an engineer, invented a machine called the telegraph service. Basically, Samuel Morse could use electrical signals like a coding system to send messages from one place to another. No voice, okay? No talking, no voice, but signals. So signals can be sent from one place to another, and that place, based on the signal, they can decode it and write words or make words, basically translate those codes into text. Okay, let me show you how Morse codes looks like. This one, right? This is called the Morse code, introduced by Samuel Morse. Okay, right. Can you see this one? One second. So, yeah. Can you see these codes? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, what happens is, now this dot is a dot, right? I mean, let's say the machine ticks once, like tick, that is a dot. If the machine, like, you can also attach that to a speaker and give like this, yeah, tick tick, that is A, right? Then you can send another electric signal like tick 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 tick, that is B, right? So basically what you do is, the interpreter or the decoder of the other side of the machine, he basically receives the electric signal, he translates that signal to text, and messages can be sent using that method. So that method was introduced by Samuel Morse. This is not used today in normal life, but in aviation, in aircraft communication, we use this normally, like when a certain place in the ground wants to send its identification to the aircraft, normally they use Morse codes. So let's say there's a facility which helps aircraft find directions, which is called VOR, for example, VOR, DME, there are different things, right? What they do is, they have this unique code assigned to them, Morse code. So the aircraft, they will send that code automatically to the aircraft. So the aircraft knows, okay, this station is named this. That is sent through code. Okay, the station can't talk to the aircraft. No. I mean, station, no people also in that, right? Nobody will be able to talk to the aircraft. We are this station. No, the pilots will identify the place like that, right? Morse codes are still being used. Okay, introduced by Samuel Morse, which is basically the birth of the telegraph service. Okay, right. 1 second. So we learned about penny postal service and the Morse code system. And then there was a big groundbreaking invention by Alexander Graham Bell in 1876. That's the invention of telephone. Telephone, there's a transmitter and there's a receiver. Both sides. I have a transmitter and a receiver, and the person who's receiving the message also has a transmitter and receiver. And we are connected through wires, like telecom. Yeah, telecom, they have to pull your wire, right? No wireless, right? Telecom, like that. So what a telephone does is, like, okay, when I talk, my transmitter works and the other one's receiver works. He receives the message. So real-time voice communication happens. And this is made possible by the invention of telephone by Alexander Graham Bell. Yeah. Then Guglielmo Marconi made another huge stride in communication. He invented wireless communication. Basically communicating. Now, Alexander Graham Bell introduced communication through wires. Telephone, yeah, you have to connect that through wires, the telephones. But Marconi gave birth to a new system. He introduced, or he invented a new system that is basically you can transmit a message from one place to many places, or one place to one place, whatever, using radio signals. Okay, using radio signals. For example, what you need is a transmitter and a receiver to do this, but no need wires. Okay, so what a transmitter does, one second, give me another page. Yeah, what a transmitter does, it transmits radio signals, and with radio signals, it can be like voice, a broadcast, right? So it can be received by another person or many persons, like, a radio station. Like you have, what you have in your house is called a receiver. Okay, the transmitter is in Net FM or VFM or that place. Okay, so wirelessly, those are through waves. we have different types of waves. We call it VHF, right? I mean, the spectrum, very high frequency, the frequency in which the wave is transmitted. Then we have modulations, FM, AM, those things. That is how basically those waves are transmitted, and you are receiving those real-time messages which are conveyed by people in the radio station, right? So Marconi basically founded this, and based on that principle, John Logie Baird also found that not only voice can be sent using radio signals, but also pictures. That is the birth of the television. He found the television, right? John Logie Baird, he invented the television by 1926. Now, these are very huge changes that happened in the field of communication after Industrial Revolution. Is that understood? Yeah. Now, when Marconi invented radio, today we have what? We have radars. Radar, whether to see whether a plane is coming, see whether a ship is coming, radars. Radar technology. Radar technology means radar. Yeah, radar means radio detecting and ranging, right? Radio detecting and ranging. That is called radar. You have then you have TV, you have Bluetooth, you have Wi-Fi, you have 4G. Everything is working based on radio signals. Yeah, radio signals. Or the only thing is the frequency is different. Okay. Everything is basically radio signals. Your Bluetooth, everything. So thanks to Marconi, thanks to Guglielmo Marconi, we have all these technologies. That is why we know the name of Marconi and not the person who found Bluetooth. Yeah, do you know who found Bluetooth? Yeah. When was Bluetooth introduced? Today you have Bluetooth headset, you have everything basically Bluetooth, right? Bluetooth cameras, Bluetooth earphones, headphones, that and this and everything. Yeah, Bluetooth. You don't know who invented Bluetooth, right? We don't know, because Bluetooth basically was based. You can Google and see. Yeah, Bluetooth was introduced in about 1998, right? But we don't know the name actually, because it's not a groundbreaking invention in terms of radio technology, because the technology is always there. Basically, they used a different frequency so that devices which are within 10 meters range can communicate with each other. That is not a transformation or revolution in technology. Everything was based on Marconi's introduction of radio frequency technology, right? Radio signals, nothing else, no big deal in that, right? That is why we don't remember those names. But we remember names like Bill Gates, right? Bill Gates, who introduced the operating system Microsoft Windows. Yeah, we remember that name because of that, a lot of other things have happened, right? That is why you remember Bill Gates. He went on to become a billionaire because of that, right? When he introduced the Windows operating system, basically you can literally run everything you need, all the softwares you need on that operating system. It made life so easy for businesses, for people, everybody. That is why you remember his name, right? Not Bluetooth. Yeah, not the person who found Bluetooth or GPS, but there are inventors of all those things, right? Scientists, scholars, scientists, engineers, they all invented these things. Okay, right. Okay. That's the communication sector for you guys. All right, let's move on to the agricultural sector. Now, agricultural sector became developed because of several reasons. Beginning of mega farms. Now, small farms, like they can't produce enough stuff. And also with the Industrial Revolution, when the industries got developed in the towns, in the cities, people started moving, people started giving up their lands, agricultural lifestyle, started moving to the city in search of jobs. that basically made a lot of lands in the villages empty, uncultivated. And those lands were bought by people who had money, and mega farms were started. So mega farms basically contributed to a huge development in the agricultural sector, right? Beginning of mega farms. And also there's another method called changing of crops, which is also called the crop rotation. Basically, you cultivate barley today in this season here. Next season, you don't cultivate barley here, but you cultivate wheat or corn, something like that. You change the crops. That's called crop rotation. By doing that, you can also prevent diseases from spreading. You can also save the fertile quality of the soil, because when you cultivate barley every day, all the nutrients barley needs from that soil will be gone, right? Soil will not be as fertile as it used to be. But corn, maybe other nutrients are needed for corn, wheat, there are different crops. So the fertile nature of the soil will be preserved. That is what they did by changing of crops. Not only that, weeds means vulpalati. Then also pests can also be controlled by doing that. The pests that eat barley aspects of changing of crops, yeah, which is called crop rotation. Okay, then invention of invention of new technology in animal husbandry. Okay, they found out different technologies to basically breed animals like sheep and everything. So those technologies were used to produce more sheep. Like today we have, broiler chicken. When I was a kid, broiler chicken came in 42 days. Okay, now we have 22 days, 21 days, like that chicken, 21 days also. Recently, they have introduced like 14 days also. I don't know if that is there in Sri Lanka. Yeah, so everything is developing every day. So these things happen in the Industrial Revolution as well in terms of agriculture. And agricultural method like new fertilizers, new equipment to sow the seeds, reap, harvest, everything were introduced, which made life so easy for people, and which basically made production so huge, right? So people could produce things in a massive scale, and those produce were able to distribute, were able to be distributed to the consumers around the world. This is how those industries got developed during the time of Industrial Revolution. Yes. This method is also like chain cultivation, changing of crops. Yes, Bhute. Chain cultivation also, we didn't cultivate the same crops every day, like kurakan, amu, meh, different mung, then maize, like corn also, right? Those things also cultivate, right? Meneri, tanahal, all are like grains only, but different crops. Yes, we also used to do that in the ancient times, changing of crops. Yes, right. These things you can read on your own. And we'll now talk about the expansion to other countries. Okay, reasons for the spread of the industrial revolution to other countries. Basically, not only in Britain, but also in other countries, the increase of population happened, and they were demanding for more goods, right? As a result, so because of increasing population, like Germany, France, Italy, Belgium, Austria, USA, everyone's population was increasing. End of the day, you need to produce more goods to meet their demands. So Industrial Revolution expanded to other countries. Okay, and development of travel and transport, because of travel and transport got developed. You also need more, roads to be made, right? In those countries like France, also Germany, also, they can't import the roads from England, right? You have to make your own roads. Those are some of the things. The discovery of coal in France and Germany also basically led to the Industrial Revolution. These countries, when I talk about England, when I talk about France, Germany, they're so popular for certain industries. Okay, yeah. Let's talk a few of those. France is so popular for which industry? What do you know? Let's see your general knowledge. France is so popular because of one industry. Is it making planes? They make planes. Yeah. But that is not why France is so important or very popular. They make the best perfumes in the world. You know that? Yeah. France. Germany, industry, vehicles, machines. UK also, okay? I mean, England also for machines. Yeah. Steel-based products, clothes, those things, you know. But Germany, when I say Germany, it's either machines or vehicles. Vehicles mainly Mercedes-Benz, today also. Audi, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, all are German brands, okay? France is so popular for perfume, the best perfume, no matter what. Perfume. Paris is so popular for Paris, city of Paris. Popular for perfume. These are all French words, you know. Eau de cologne. You say eau de cologne again, Abhi? Yeah, eau de cologne. Eau de cologne is a French word. Eau de toilet. Eau de perfume. Perfume again? Yes. All are French words, you know. Yeah, based on how much how much percentage you of the scent that you have. Yeah. Eau de cologne has a very little percentage. Eau de toilet has more. Eau de perfume has the most. That is why eau de perfume is very strong. When you put perfume, you can basically, it will last for like 24 hours. Yeah. So always go for perfumes. Yeah. Perfume in French. Yeah. Those countries are even today, they are known for certain things because of Industrial Revolution. Switzerland is known for watches and chocolates. Yes. Swiss chocolates and Swiss watches. As a result of Industrial Revolution. Yeah. Those countries got developed, you know. Yeah. You can rate this on your own, right? I mean, we're not gonna talk too much about it. Yeah, any questions? Italy for pizza? Italian food, yeah. Pizza, pasta, they're all Italian food. So they all, yeah, can say that as a, you know, all these industries got developed as a result. Pizza is an Italian food, okay? Yeah. France is also popular, you know, for what? France is considered the kitchen of Europe. Kitchen of Europe, France. French cuisine, you know, like all the European, basically dishes, food, mainly, you know, is based on from French recipes, you know. Yeah, the sauces, everything basically is coming from France. When you learn about cookery, if you are learning more about cookery and everything, you will learn that all these sauces, everything is basically have their roots to France. Soups, sauces, everything basically coming from France. Yes. Why USA is popular? Why do you think USA is popular? USA is popular for what? Yeah. What do you think? Wheat flour. Many countries have wheat flour. Why USA is so popular? USA is popular for many things. Many things. Not one thing. For many industries, weapons, yes. USA is one of the leading exporter of weapons. USA is home to many international restaurants, McDonald's, KFC, Pizza Hut, everything. Pizza Hut, even though they are serving Italian food, it's a USA company. Those things. And oil companies, big, huge companies. You know, Singer? Yeah? You know, Singer company? Then multinational companies like Singer. Unilever is UK from Britain. Singer is from USA. Yeah? USA, UK, all the countries I know basically. Yeah. Singer company. So USA is popular for many things, not one thing. Can't say for one thing. But right now, I can say that USA is most popular for entertainment. Yeah. entertainment, the Marvel comics and everything, the movies, the Hollywood, plus the songs, the music industry and the entertainment industry, like the movie industry. Yeah. USA can be called like that, when it comes to that industry. Who cares about England movies, right? Who cares about Chinese movies? But Hollywood, yeah, that's the movie we are talking about, right? USA is very popular because of that industry. Entertainment industry, they make a lot of money because of that. Many people from around the world go and work in that industry, right? Entertainment industry. That's not as a result of the industrial revolutions, by the way. That's because we are in the contemporary age, modern age. USA is also important because of technology also, right? Like computer, IT technology, best technologies come from there, right? I mean, Windows was found in USA, right? So those things also, Apple, everything from USA. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the results of the industrial revolution. Political field, there are a lot of changes took place in political fields, right? As a result of the industrial revolution, a new class called the wealthy class and another class called the poor class was born. Okay, because people gave up their lands and came to towns to work in factories, and they became poor end of the day. People who sold their lands and came to towns and settled there, they became poor. People who invested more and more in those lands, factories, and those people got rich. That's the wealthy class. What happened was, once the wealthy class was created and the poor class was created, these two people started clashing with each other, right? Poor people wanted more rights, more freedom, more comfortable lifestyles. But the wealthy people, they didn't want that. They wanted to basically, rip off the poor people of their energy and everything. And basically they wanted to make big profits out of their factories. Poor people wanted better living conditions. So they started clashing each other. There were struggles, strikes and unions forming and protests happening and everything, a lot of clashes happened as a result. So that's the change in the political field. As a result, many politicians are also born. Those things, plus with the invention of new political ideologies like socialism, like treating everybody equally, and liberalism, which is basically giving freedom to everybody, free thinking. With those concepts coming in, those problems also washed away. Yeah. Before that, there were a lot of problems between the wealthy people and the working crowd. Okay. Right. That needs to be understood very well. There was a new concept called laissez-faire by Adam Smith. Actually, that forced the governments to release industries to the private sector, so that private investors, they can come and invest in businesses. But like it used to be like under government control. Many businesses used to be under government control, but with the invention of laissez-faire by it's a new concept by Adam Smith, which made the private sector get more involved in the businesses. Yeah. Okay. Right. Then there was a new concept called neo-imperialism. Actually, when we talk about empires in the world, there was an empire called Roman Empire, Greek Empire. There were different empires, right? India was ruled by an empire called Mughal Empire. Then China had many empires, Mongol Empire, Arabic Empire, Ottoman Empire, we discussed about it during Renaissance, Byzantine Empire. Those were all old empires. Okay. Now, neo-imperialism means new empires started emerging. Like, countries, when they got developed as a result of industrial revolution, they started expanding their colonies in other countries. Like, for example, Britain, okay, or England started having more control in those other countries, other parts of the world. France, they conquered or they controlled many areas in Africa. England controlled many areas in Asia. Like that, they were at a competition to basically control many areas. Okay, that made them basically access to that helped them access a big market, When you have a lot of areas under your control, you can produce any amount of goods you want, and then you can sell in those markets, right? Let's say you produce clothes. England, they exported clothes to Sri Lanka, India, everywhere. And basically, they sold those products and they became rich end of the day. That's called neo-imperialism, which is called an expansionist policy by the world powers, okay, powerful countries who got developed as a result of the Industrial Revolution. Now, when we talk about the changes in the economic sector, I want you guys to read this too very carefully, okay? If you want to basically look at the recording again, kindly go ahead, do it again, right? Change, we are talking about the changes in the economic sector. The self-sufficient economy collapsed. It was agriculture based as well those days. People gave up their lands, came to the town and started working in factories. Now nobody to produce foods. Only mega factories, mega farms are producing food, right? So agriculture also got industrialized. Those are some of the changes took place in the economic sector. Small companies started getting together because they can't develop an industry. So small companies started getting together and formed big companies. As a result, multinational companies were formed. Today we have companies like Unilever, Singer. Singer was introduced in 1851. It's a result of the Industrial Revolution. You have Singer here, right? I mean, in Sri Lanka as well. Okay, Singer basically produces almost everything. You have washing machines. You have this the textile machine, the weaving machines, produced by Singer, air fryers, TVs, everything, right? Singer is a multinational company for that reason. Not only restricted in one country, it's there in many countries. Okay, Unilever is also the same. The Signal toothpaste you are using, Lifebuoy, Dettol, everything is made from this company. Okay, Unilever, which is a British company, UK company, right? So these companies also opened up banking activities so that they can also fund their people in the sense like the producers, the suppliers of them also can be funded so that they can all grow together, right? Even today you can see that many companies, when they're expanding, they also start banks. A good example is Cargill's. Cargill started their own bank, which is Cargill's Bank. Okay, Cargill's, the food city, yeah, they also have their own bank. You know that? SoftLogic, they started finance, SoftLogic Finance, right? Big company. Singer also, they have finance. Apico, they have Apico Finance. So they all, when the companies are growing very big, they also start their own finance services. So that, their people can be supported, their suppliers can be supported, and also it's an additional revenue that you can generate, right? When you have a lot of money, you can start a bank. Who wants to start a bank? Yeah. How do banks earn money? Anybody? Yeah, you guys are good in business studies, no? Let's see if you know the basics of how the world works. When you have a bank account, they pay you an interest, right? Every month. Yeah, when you have some money in your account, you can see that there will be an interest added to your money that you just have as a saving in the bank. Now, how do the banks get money? Yes, exactly. From the people. Okay. Yeah, actually they give loans. They basically take your money. They basically take our money and lend it to other people or companies. Okay. Can be for people. Now, let's say they take my money and give it to you at a higher interest. Okay. They charge like 15% interest from you and they pay me like only 4%, 5%. So 10%, yeah, they use that to maintain their stuff, right? May give payment, salaries of staff and those things plus their profit. Yeah, that is how they make money. They also have money, yes. They also have investments. They also invest that money in different businesses. Their own businesses, maybe different businesses also. It's a complex process, but that's how it all works. Okay. Now we'll talk, that's the economy, that's the economic sector. And we'll talk about the impact on the society as a result of the Industrial Revolution. This part is very important. As a result of the Industrial Revolution, more business opportunities came out. More business opportunities means more jobs were also created, because mega farms started, big companies, big factories started. So there was a need for more people to come and work in those factories. So more job opportunities were created, which is a good thing. Okay, but bad things also happen, like cities getting populated. So many people in one city, and the housing facilities, everything, sanitary facility, everything going down, right? Environmental pollution, those things also happen on a negative note. Yeah. And another societal change that happens is the emergence of a class society. The society got divided into several classes, like the rich class and the poor class, or the wealthy class and the working class, or the rich class and the labor class. Yes, people who were rich went on to become super rich. They formed the wealthy class. People who also became businessmen, factory owners, contractors, engineers, they also went on to become very rich, right? People who basically own lands, we call them aristocrats. They also went on to become very rich. So they basically formed the rich class. Okay. Now the second one, the first one I told you, the businessmen, basically the traders, the professionals like the contractors, engineers, factory owners, they all formed a class called the middle class. Basically, they are also very wealthy. Okay, that's basically the rich class. They're also rich. But the poor class or the labor class, they didn't have anything. They just worked for a salary. They had to live in a very harsh environment with minimum facilities. Sometimes the salary which was earned by the man was not enough for the family. So the wife also had to work. Children also had to work sometimes to make ends meet of the family. They lived in small places like rooms or line homes under very harsh conditions. So as a result, they all started getting together, formed unions, went on to do struggles. You know, sometimes they had to work all day. When the factory owner said that you had to work all day, they had to work all day, otherwise they will lose their jobs, right? So like that. Okay, they used to do that. So to overcome those struggles, they also organized protest and won those struggles. End of the day, you know, today we have labor laws, right? As a result of those struggles, basically staged by laborers, the working class in those countries, we have something called the International Labor Organization, ILO, which basically gives all the countries with proper guidelines. You have to work 8 hours, you have to work 12 hours. If you work for 12 hours, you have 1 day off, like that. You know, those are international labor laws. Even Sri Lanka is a member of International Labor Organization, right? So today we have to work, like, let's say any job, you have to work 8 hours, 9 hours. Those are basically the results of those labor class people sacrificing their lives. Okay, today we are enjoying those rights, the working crowd enjoying those rights, because hundreds of people even died fighting for those rights in Europe. Okay, today we have big organizations like International Labor Organization dictating the terms which are minimum standards for workers in the world. Yeah. Okay, so we should not forget the sacrifices made by those people as well, right? Okay, that's some of the very important impacts on the society that happened as a result of the Industrial Revolution. And on top of all that, Pute, environmental pollution, like, you know, water pollution, air pollution, everything happened with the invention of factories. Okay, when factories came out, all the wastes that were emitted by factories were put into waterways. Water got polluted as a result, and the smoke that was used, especially by burning coal and everything in those factories, mixed with the atmosphere, basically making people's lives miserable. Okay, people started having different diseases like lung diseases and everything. Even today, because of environmental pollution, we don't know, we don't feel it, but there's a lot of deaths happening around the country or around the world. Yeah, because of environmental pollution. Yes. So industrialization basically made the environment polluted as well. Right now, in the modern times, many companies are basically focused, many factories or companies are basically focused on a green path, that is basically reducing the use of fuel, trying to use solar power, wind power, those things, those initiatives are aimed at protecting the environment, right? That's something extra knowledge for you guys. Yeah. Yes, Pute, it's okay. Yeah, I got it. Now, this is the last part for today, guys. We'll discuss questions next year when we start our class first week of January. Discuss past paper questions related to this unit. If you have any questions, I will have some extra time so that we can cover those questions. I mean, we can answer those questions as well. Right. So, effects of industrial revolution in Sri Lanka. It's a nice topic to end. Because we had a lot of changes actually taking place in Sri Lanka, but not the industrial revolution itself. If we had the industrial revolution, we would have been a different country like Japan or Korea. By now, Taiwan, Japan, Korea are developed, like in terms of industries, they're so developed right now, right? Korea is a leading manufacturer of ships and electronics in the world. LG is from Korea, Samsung is from Korea, right? Mitsubishi from Japan, Sony is from Japan, Toyota is from Japan. Korea also produces vehicles like Kia, Hyundai. They're all Korean brands. See those countries, why couldn't we be like that? I mean, they basically imported the industrial revolution from Europe to their countries. Why not Sri Lanka? Actually, Sri Lanka was a colony of the British during industrial revolution. So basically, the British brought the technologies that they wanted to bring here. They didn't bring technologies that we wanted here. Okay, let's say we wanted to start textile industry, but they didn't help do that. But they wanted tea, they wanted to drink tea, so they helped tea cultivation. They wanted rubber, like USA market, they wanted rubber and everything. So rubber cultivation started, production of rubber, coconut also, those things got developed, coffee and those things, but not the industrial revolution itself. But we also have to thank the industrial revolution for certain changes that took place in Sri Lanka, like the building of roads using macadam method. Everything took place in Sri Lanka, not parallelly with what happened in UK or England or Britain, but sometime after that. End of the day, we got the benefit of industrial revolution, but not the industrial revolution itself. Okay, that is a question, that is a problem here. But banks were started, roads like Colombo Kandy Road were built, postal system was started, railway system was started, mega cultivations started, like tea, rubber, coconut, those things were started, right? An educated middle class was born as a result of contractors and birth of a local rich class, like who supported in cultivation, who engaged in cultivation, and also who supported with other services to those cultivation, like contractors, as we call them, who are providing transportation services, labor services, those things. Those people also got rich as a result. Those are some of the changes that happened as a result of the industrial revolution here. Now, to wrap it up, I have put significant events that took place in Sri Lanka, which can be attributed to the industrial revolution. Okay, coffee mill in Sri Lanka. A coffee mill in Sri Lanka was started by Frederick North, Governor Frederick North, in 1804. Macadam method introduced in 1885. Colombo Kandy Road, Governor Edward Barnes, under the direction of Governor Edward Barnes, Colombo Kandy Road was constructed. Railway started. Governor Henry Ward is the one to be credited with that, with introducing that. And postal service also started. Telegram services also started by 1858. Those are some of the changes, good changes that took place in the industrial sector in this country, but not the industrial revolution itself. Okay. Why? Now it's the time to think. Now I need some good examples. Yeah, from you guys. Basically, I want you guys to think and tell me why. Why didn't we get developed like Korea or Japan? Korea or Japan, industrial revolution didn't start in those countries, but they got so developed today. Yeah.
Because the British didn't want us to get the technology we want.
Okay, the British didn't want to bring industrial revolution here. That is one of the main reasons. And did we push them? That is the question. Okay, we pushed for political reforms, right? Yeah, the educated middle class, Sir James Pieris, Ponnambalam Ramanathan, D.S. Senanayaka, we all pushed for political reforms, but we never pushed for industrial reform. We could have pushed. Yeah, we could have asked, we need more factory, we need textile factory here, we need in Sri Lanka, we need to make clothes and we need to export to India. If we had demanded, maybe they would have brought something like that. Yeah, but we didn't. We were so focused on politics, those things only, freedom and or those things only. If we had thought one step ahead, like bringing those industries also to Sri Lanka, if we had pushed them, if our people, if they had gone to Africa or other countries, source raw material, raw material to make certain things and brought them to Sri Lanka, started factories, without just getting restricted in tea, rubber, those things, I mean, this would have been a different thing. Japan and Korea, electronic industry, the vehicle industry, because they have the raw material with them. The silicon, the germanium, silicon, those things are mainly used in electronics. Yeah, electronics. So those materials are found abundantly in those countries. Because those raw materials are there, they use that raw materials to make electronics. That's something to think about. Yeah, that is why we don't have an industrial revolution here. We never had one. But India, in terms of industries, they're far ahead than us. They make 3 wheels at least. They make bikes, they make cars, the Marutis, yeah. They make buses, the buses that we go, basically, yeah, Indian products. They make a lot of things in terms of industries, but we know we are not happy. We can't be happy with that, right? Okay, so that's something to think about. Okay, guys, I will see you next year. It's our vacation time now, and we'll meet on the first week of January. We'll discuss some questions related to this next year. Okay. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas for those who are celebrating. And take care. God bless you all.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Keep yourself updated, yeah, in the group. Yeah. Take care. Bye bye. See you.
God bless.
God bless you too. Bye.